Hello, hi, this is Midnavin Komalapati. Today I would like to discuss the reading assignment, and this is the section 1. And editor of this, John Lafferty. And coming to the section 1, the concept error bars in the following subsection analysis offer a precise description of a content. With an EM approach for actual base calculation, we provide effective approximation judgment strategies. In this article, we compare our findings in manuscript simulations, sentiment analysis, and opinion mining to a combination of people who start approach and conditional LIS paradigm. To be clear, an argument of allocative efficiency does not always equate to a presumption of impartial and uniform distribution of such a stochastic process. A regression line of the regressors is rational and simple under certain conditions. It could be fairly complicated slightly above the opaque quantity. As a result, even though the supposition of allocative efficiency is undoubtedly a key complicating assertions in the field of sentence clumping, as well as its great feature is that produce heuristic effective means. The vary from culture generalizations not always produce approaches which are already limited to the straightforward cross tabulation or dimensional functions. To solve the literary supervisor learning, we must divide a report into supervisor learning that are reciprocally prohibited. We really out to take the recursive or apprehensive techniques into consideration. As with any prediction, we especially get a recurrent neural network for identification by employing one LDA panel per region. Utilizing LDA is the racially prejudiced guideline is equally intriguing. Therefore, we will concentrate on the subsequent part. In the create of analytical reasoning and parameterization forecasting process for LDA, the requirement to access the information would help of the register of solitary hazard feature beneath nonlinear methods recurs often. The incredible rapid relative expression of the multinational solutions normal linearization make it simple to calculate this number. Latent digital provision is a vertical phase alignment concept for groups of categorical that we have previously defined. LDA is implemented via multiple uses of the defensive interpretation argument. Since it is premised on a basic vary from culture hypothesis for the vocabulary and subjects in a text, LDA may be seen as the LSI inspired Wayland transform approach with correct partial adjustment linguistic that correspond for further sorts of information which also represents. The prototype one per subject is a arbitrary composite over a base set of theme statistics. The concept assumption is the field of information retrieval analysis offer an accurate description of a material. With an EM approach for the realistic inference calculation, we provide effectively approximation judgment strategies. We compare our findings to combination of conditional LSI strategy and the molar ratio of the people who start model in a template structuring, topic detection, and basic methods. And this is the section 1. And coming to the section 2, the analysis of the documentation or paper explained by a author or editor is so engaging into new concepts. The concepts as explained in detail by so using so interesting examples and value declaration is good. Notation and terminology as much part of the future endeavors. This will be very well knowledge for the future generation. Applicability to further survey questionnaire challenges, namely those who procedural programming use from fields like similar users, knowledge, picture analytics, and computational biology. The strengths of the paper in is knowledge transferring, concept and knowledge documentation. The overall data collection and the way utilization is very good as of my knowledge. Yes, the document is good to understand and also I just some of the topics should be referred some other explanations because it may help us to deep dive to these concepts. I think while reading the documentation, I feel the elaboration of most concepts are very detailed and well written. Mainly, we should appreciate the efforts and strategies that author has followed to make the documentation better and best way of explanation. The detailed formation of concepts, its formulas detail explain the variables. I think as the paper or documentation can be further elaborated in the better use upcoming days because the evaluation technologies is very high, so that can be modified according to those concepts for those new elements of technologies. There will be no much problem for future use of concept changing also according to my understanding, and also they can complete change the information after some more development of technologies and their benefits. Coming to me, I have learned or analyzed some concepts that may be so engaging and used for my tomorrow. Mainly latent distillate allocations, I have zero knowledge on his, but while going to the document, it is very engaging and interesting. Unigrams and latent variable model and also types of new concepts that I learned from this documentation. I would have more interest to learn about geometric interruptions and its concepts. And this is the section 2. Coming to the section 3, I have few questions about this detailed document. Why they used variational inference and inference both with different method of processing. Want to know how smoothing concepts can be used for preferred interfaces? Little more detail. Thank you.